This episode is brought to you by the Let's Catchup Podcast, hosted by Jay
and Kay.
We are a husband and wife team that tackles a different topic every single Friday,
ranging from true crime to games and everything in between.
And we have a laugh while we do it.
So if you want to catch up with us,
you can do so on all major platforms, including YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. So join us every Friday on the Let's Catchup Podcast.
I've seen videos all the time of like people studying, and it's always like person with ADHD, and then it's them fucking moving all over the place, and this person without ADHD, and it's just them just sitting still, just typing for like literal hours while the other person's fucking spinning around in the chair, and I'm like, I do that on the podcast, don't I?
Well, if we had like spinny chairs, then I think we'd really be able to tell.
I'd be done, dude. I'd be doing this straight. I'd be going back and forth just while we're talking.
That's why I'd be really interested to see like how a podcast or like some sort of communication between us that's recorded would go while we're playing a game, because like I feel like we start talking and then it's like right in the middle of a story, it just goes quiet. Because like if we're playing like Power Wash or something, I feel like it's almost like that's almost like a hard one to like compare it to, because I feel like we don't get too distracted. Like we stay on target like when we're telling a story, but if it's like anything else where we like have to use our brains.
Yes. Yeah. I will say though, if we're ever playing Power Wash together and we are having a conversation, we could be having a conversation like we are right now, totally normal, nothing's going on, and then you will occasionally get a, what? Come on! What the fuck? Why am I not cleaning this? I don't see any more highlights. What's going on? And like, when you don't see any more highlights, that means you have it completed. But we're always just that's what happens. Is we'll just occasionally be like, can you fucking bing already? Like, why is this thing not binging? Like, this is annoying me. Like, can you see what this is? Can you see if you can get this? Because this is just pissing me off. And then that's how our stories would get interrupted pretty much, because it would just be...
And then at that point, it's just we start talking about something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, it's a natural moving on point.
Yeah, because... Or we'll go, are you going to finish that? I'm like, it's not worth it at this point. Like, I'm just...
that's... Well... Usually it's like you say, anyway, what were you saying? And I either say it's not worth it, or I'll say I don't even remember.
Yeah.
That happens way too much.
That's a good Andy phrase right there. I don't even remember. That does get said. That does get said a lot, for sure. I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
That's Andy, baby. That's Andy. I mean, I don't know.
Well, we're about like 3 or 4 minutes into the podcast at this point.
Yeah.
I was thinking about some stuff, as you do, like just throughout the week.
Thoughts do occur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought about this like a long time ago, and this was like on the drive here, that came back in my mind. Do you ever think about how kids just
okay
it's
look, Andy, you can't just say, do you ever think about kids, and then stop. like you are being recorded and this is going up on the internet.
That's fair.
So red flag.
Well, yeah, let me
take him down.
Let me rephrase that a little bit.
Check his computer.
My work computer.
yeah.
Do you ever think about when kids are just... now I'm hyper aware.
Finish the sentence, Andy, please.
They just don't give a fuck about anything, and I feel like I was never like that when I was a kid. I'll give you an example before you say anything. I remember over, like, it was months ago, like in the summer, I was driving home from like picking something up from the store, and there was a kid that just like walked, like a small child, not like a teenager, that walked out like in front of me, like with their parents or whatever. So it was like, it wasn't like they were alone. And they just stared at me like in the middle of the parking lot, like while I'm driving. And like they were staring but walking, that kind of thing. And it wasn't like I'm wondering if it was like, yeah, you won't fucking hit me because I'm a kid. Like you're not gonna, like they're hyper aware that they're a kid and they have that to like hold over you. And then like I just like, it was like the equivalent of like the kid just like taking his middle finger out and just like just
fuck
like
you,
it was like, fuck you, I've got this power on me.
I mean, it definitely could be that, but at the same time, I feel like I definitely stared at people when I was a kid. Like, I definitely just stared at them, and they were like, what? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know.
Well, that's the,
just
like, the people that say what to a kid, like, when they're staring, that's like a whole level of, like, terror for that kid. Because they were just like, I didn't even realize I was staring at you, or they were doing like the I'm intimidating you, but then get caught.
I think it depends on what age the kid is when you can say what to them. You know what I mean? Like after like if it looks like they're almost out of elementary school, you got full guarantee to be like,
oh,
what?
For sure.
What? Because they're not a little kid. You're just like, what the fuck you staring at, champ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they run away.
Yeah, when you stare at bucko, and then they're like, oh. Yeah.
They run away, and you realize, oh man, they were a lot younger than I thought.
Yeah, like, and if it's just a little teeny tiny kid, you know, that like is just like walking and whatever, and he comes over and stumbles up and just goons you, you're just like, you know, I'll usually just like make a face at him or something. But yeah, there's a certain age range where you're either gonna get, hi, how are you doing, or you're gonna get what. There's no in between.
And I'm just remembering why I remembered this on the drive over here. There was someone that was driving behind me, and I turned off a road, and they just kept staring at me. And it was an older woman, so why? Like what? Like why did you take your eyes off the road for like that long to just see like what?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a matter of like my license plates are still Pennsylvania, and they're like, wow, that's different, even though it's a state over. Or if it's like I did something stupid or something's wrong with my car. There was one time when my old car, like the wheel was like doing this thing where it was like almost like falling off, and someone, like, we were at a red light and someone got out of their car and like knocked on my window, and they were behind me and they were like, hey, just wanted to let you know, like, your wheel's fucked.
I mean, that's awesome that they did that, but I'm sure that scared the shit out of you.
It did, and I was like, and I was also like, I was driving home from work, and I was just pissed off, and I just like wanted to get home, so I was just like in a bad mood, and I was like, oh, that's very nice of you, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice then, at least.
Yeah.
Opposite side of that, I got flipped off the other day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was driving at work, I pulled out in front of somebody. It's like Mercedes or like BMW or some fuck, I don't know. And literally, I pull out. I was apparently not going fast enough for him as I pulled out in this, 3 times the size of his vehicle van. And so then he cuts into the middle lane, passes me, and then as he's passing me, does this with his hand, like tosses up his hand, and I believe it was the middle finger.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were driving right behind him, there was somebody in my passenger seat, and I said, that was just unnecessary. And the guy was just like, yeah, why the fuck did he pass you? I was like, apparently I wasn't going fast enough. And so then I was like, yeah, and then he did this to me. And I'm like, back at you, bud, whatever. And I just tossed my hand up. And then I saw the guy, he was watching me in his rear view, and then he flipped me off. And I was like, did he just flip? I'm like, he just flipped me off. And the guy in the passenger seat started laughing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the greatest thing was the guy got stopped at the same red light we did. And so I was just my God. We almost got to pull up beside him. Like, we were like a car behind him. And I was like, no. And he went the other way.
At that point, I wonder if, like, that guy's heart must have been racing. He's like, just don't let it happen.
Yeah.
Don't let him pull next to me, because I'm just going to have to stare straight.
Well, yeah, and then, he is so pissed off. Like, I was just like, why get so pissed off during the day? And then I made a horrible joke about him, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have. It's fine, whatever.
Anytime I get some, I don't get road rage like terribly, but anytime someone like cuts me off or does something obnoxious on the side of, or not on the side of the road, that when they're driving, I just say something like, if it's a woman, I say, I bet your husband cheats on you.
Well, you know what? On the same line, I said a joke when that guy flipped me off and he drove the other way. I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna let it like harm me in any way. I'm like, he's probably gonna go home and like beat his wife or whatever. And then the guy beside me goes, Jesus, Isaac, and I was like, I don't know, dude. That just came out of nowhere. I'm sorry. So
I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, so I'm glad we both think fucked up things like that. Because like that's the same way. Like I'm the same way. I get annoyed if someone cuts me off. Which Columbus is the worst fucking place for that. Like people doesn't matter. They'll cut you off. They really do. It definitely pisses me off. But I have an issue.
You should drive in Cleveland.
Is it worse?
Oh, it's worse.
I thought you said Columbus is worse. The drivers. Overall.
Did I?
When you moved here, you said, dude, Columbus is dog shit drivers.
Maybe I did say that. I just remember in Cleveland, people just don't care about red lights. They will just drive through a red light. Like, you have to sit at when you're sitting at a stoplight and it turns green, you have to sit there for a solid 3 seconds.
Because someone's going to blast right through there?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Yeah. I've done it once. And it was probably like 1 second too long too, that like it was red, and I was like, I don't feel good about that one. Like, I wasn't running late to anything. I just did it. And like, I don't know. I don't
feel good.
Yeah, that there was no adrenaline rush. It was like like someone slapped me on the wrist and like, I'm disappointed in you.
I've done that a few times, but like for me, like it's mostly just been at work where I've like I have to be like already crossed that line when I'm going and it hits red, because I'll be like, I can't stop. I'm gonna fucking fling product out of the place. I'm like, I can't do that. But the thing that's been bothering me while driving lately is I have people walk out in front of me all the time. That drives me wild. And they're fucking on their phone when they do it. And so there's so many times I just want to lay on the horn. I'm like, oh, God, I can't do that. But like, I've had so many people where like they were shocked that I was driving. And I was like, what are you doing, man? Or like, I'm backing into a spot and they'll run behind me. Or they won't stop as I'm backing in. Like, they'll literally start walking right behind me, but they're on their phone.
Well, and it's not like they're... Well, I guess it's hard because you're in like a college campus.
Yes.
So like I can... Because like, I was starting to think, like, why the fuck are people like just not using like the walkways? But like,
they do.
Yeah, but like people on college campuses just don't care.
Yeah.
When we were in college, I knew people that I lived with on the dorm. Like they lived on the same hall as me, and we went out to get our cars. We parked them at one of the parking lots. And she just literally walked out into the middle of traffic.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with people?
It was like her whole entire friend group that like just did it. It was like, is it just women that don't care about their lives?
No, dude, it's everybody. I must be everybody on a fucking college campus. I don't know, dude. I was always told look both ways and actually go when it says fucking walk, not when the hand's up. So like, I don't understand people, man. I had somebody didn't even bat an eye. They just sat there, stared straight ahead, walked. They saw that it was a do not walk. They just fucking walked. I made the turn and they were walking. I was like, oh!
Is it a...
oh!
If you hit them, do you get in trouble? Or is it...
In that scenario, they technically would have been at fault because they had a do not walk and they just walked.
Yeah.
I believe. If not, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, because you always, like, you're supposed to yield for pedestrians or whatever. But then there's there's that one, and then there's, like, what is jaywalking? Is jaywalking just walking?
That would be either, it would be either where it's not a crosswalk or in general when you are not able to walk.
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
Which people do that fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
I actually had somebody tell me a story where
Did someone get arrested for jaywalking?
they did,
Oh
but the
my
way they did it was so fucking stupid, Andy, that I could not believe it. And I could be butchering the story because it was, I heard it from somebody else. But the way it was told to me was this kid was pretty well off. His family is pretty well off, whatever. So he didn't think anything bothered him or whatever. So this guy that I know went out drinking with a group of friends this kid was a part of. And they went out and they were going from bar to bar hopping, whatever. They then saw a cop on the street. They walked across the street. Jay walked in front of him. And they were like talking about the cop while they were doing it. And the kid was like, yeah, what the fuck is this guy going to do? Walks up to the cop and says, I just jaywalked in front of you. What the fuck are you going to do about it? To a cop. And got arrested. I'm like, what do you expect, you fucking idiot?
He probably doesn't, like, he wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
Like, he what?
Yeah, no, literally, he went up to a cop and said, I just jaywalked in front of you. What are you going to do about it?
Was this someone you knew in, like, high school?
No. This is somebody that I worked with, and then they told me that they did this. They were out in public, and one of the people in his group did that to him. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, oh no, he was an idiot. He's a straight up idiot. What the
So, okay, so then he got arrested. What happened next?
I believe that he just got bailed out because his parents had a ton of money, so like he wasn't really worried about it.
Imagine, like, I would hope that his parents were like, well, yeah, you got fucking arrested, you dumbass.
Yeah.
No one gets arrested for jaywalking.
Yeah, literally. Mine was fucking blown when he told me this story. I was like, dude, you gotta be a special kind of stupid. Like,
you gotta be a special kind of stupid to just get arrested for jaywalking.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a few different laws that you can break that just you won't get in trouble for.
Oh,
and, like, jaywalking is just like there's an unwritten rule that, like, you will not get arrested or like anything for jaywalking. Because, like, I don't know, I mean, I feel like a cop to like pull you over while you're walking, like, it's got to be a cop that's like out on the street, and even then, like, do you remember when we were in Columbus and we were going home from the fireworks festival?
God, yeah.
And I just wanted to get back to our Uber, and I just wanted to get there, and I was being like that dumbass that was like wanted to walk across the street, but like there was no one coming. It was just like, and they were on the streets that were kind of closed off, that they were a little busy, but like, yeah. And I wasn't drunk or anything. I just I was being stubborn, and that cop, like, I don't even know if it was a cop, just like, he just like put his hand like in my chest.
Yes, because what happened was we were on a somewhat closed off street. There was a cop who was directing traffic, and we had a do not walk sign. And as he was directing traffic right beside us, you were like, I'm just going to walk. And you said that out loud. And you walked right in front of him. He goes, what are you doing? And he just put his hand on your chest like,
yeah, but then
what are you doing, dude? And you're like, oh, yeah, my bad. And I was like, everyone in the group was like, Andy, what are you doing,
The thing that annoyed me, though, and I was already annoyed because like there was something that happened like maybe like 10 minutes earlier that like just like made me mad. Or like not even mad, just like frustrated or annoyed. And I think the thing that frustrated me the most about that encounter was the cop just kept talking about it afterwards. And I was just like, dude, I fucking get it. Like, I didn't, like, you stopped me. Good. Like, he kept saying, like, I don't want to clean your body off the streets. Like, I get it. I don't want you to clean my body off the streets. Like, I understand.
Like, I fucked up, dude. All right, like, can we move on? No, I really need to make sure that you know what you did. And you're like, all right, dude, shut up, please.
Thank you for doing your duty, Mr. Street Cop. Mr. like directing traffic.
Yeah. I completely forgot all about that.
I completely did too until like the
Until you almost got arrested for jaywalking.
Yeah.
When you just called everyone idiots for jaywalking.
Well, I mean, I'm a registered idiot. I think that's fair to say.
I think we both would be registered idiots for sure.
Yeah.
I think we would be clarified. I just told somebody the other day that my grades in college were actually fantastic. You would not know that about me, but I made Dean's List, like, consistently throughout my time at Kent. And he goes, so why are you so stupid? I just didn't even know what to say. I was like, you got me there. You got me there. He also said, too, there was one time, like, I don't know what we're talking about. We were like, but you're going to be in charge of this place. I was like, dude, if I was in charge of this place would be on fire right now. I was like, no. I'm like, I am not intelligent enough for that. Like, no way. But, like, look, man, sometimes you can be smart, but stupid.
Sometimes you can be smart.
Very smart. Look.
Yeah, I also did well in college. I don't know if I got Dean's List consistently. I know for sure that I, like, basically failed a semester. But yeah, I never like got to the point of like possibly having to fail out of college. But I also like know that I didn't consistently get Dean's List or whatever. I just know I did like well enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think like I'm ever in a I think it's another situation of like I'm in at the job that I'm at, I just use my brain more. Sounds offensive, but I use my brain more than you do.
Fair. That's fair.
I say that because I'm still turning on a professional vibe. I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
What was that?
I do not. I'll give you that. I am.
Professional
to a degree.
I've gotten better at it because like I've noticed that even like whenever I'm sending messages in like Slack or something, I'll just like start saying like wild shit. I think about it consciously. I'm like, you know what? I want to try. I'm trying to take a page out of Isaac's book and just like say wild shit. And it's stupid because a lot of the people that I work with, I think they have too much of a professional demeanor about them.
Knock that shit off.
And they just like. They either, one, ignore it, which is just offensive in itself, or two, they say something that's, I don't know, like they respond professionally or something.
Yeah.
And I got into like a really dumb argument with one of my coworkers after work. I was texting her and I said, I really hate that we're using like all these like headshots. Like the headshots that we have on Slack, like it's Slack, be casual. Like it makes it seem like much less of a casual thing. And she was just like, "Dude, it's a picture." And like, yeah, you're right. Like, why am I getting so upset over this? Yeah. But it's like Slack is where I can like really be an idiot, and I feel like I'm losing that in a sense. But then I think, it's a picture. They just like that's it.
Well, see, so I have a solution to that.
Okay, I'm excited.
Not to the Slack thing, but just in general, and this is for everybody listening. You could be professional, but be professional to a degree where like, how do I put this? Don't be so much like there's a stick up your ass.
Don't be so uptight.
Yeah, like literally. If you're talking to somebody, just you don't have to have that stick coming out your mouth. You know what I mean? Like, let it like be halfway there. Like I will tell, like if someone asks me a question, I will give it to them straight, be professional about it. They'll be like, awesome. And then if they ask me something stupid or like make a dumb comment, I'll make a joke right back to them and they'll be like, that was the complete opposite of like how you were just before. Like, yeah, because there's a professional time and then there's non-professional time. If you're asking me, hey, what's the deal with XYZ? I'll explain XYZ, but then if you're like, yeah, dude, like, I really hate that beer, and I'll just be like, yeah, dude, that beer gave me a horrible hangover one time. They're just gonna be like, interesting. I don't know. Like something along those lines. Like again, just don't have a stick up your ass every single fucking time you talk to somebody, especially at work. Like there's so many times where I want to crack jokes with people because I feel like that's way more personable than being like this. Oh, hi. Oh, yes. Ooh, let's talk about business and nothing but business. I'll be like, let me get you your business shit. How's your weekend?
The thing that I actively try not to use is like real business lingo.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know what you would call them. They're just like it's like a different type of language.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that I've never even heard of, but I like using just because it's stupid. It's called "We're not trying to," or it's a saying. It's "We're not trying to boil the ocean." I have never heard that before in my life.
What?
But I use it ironically, and it usually catches people off guard, and they're like, "Boil the ocean? What do you mean?" It's like the few words or phrases that are like really commonly used is like, hey, confirming that this is done or something, and it's just like it's too much, like or someone says, they explain like, hey, this thing and this thing are done, and then they put at the end for visibility, like,
oh yeah, that's that email talk.
Yeah, like
that's that email talk, boy. Yeah.
Like why do you have to put that? You already added the whole thing.
Look,
like,
my last job, I was so obnoxious about that.
Why?
I was so obnoxious about because, Andy, I felt like that was like, if I talked to them on the phone, then that's when I would be like, yeah, like, what you got for me? You know, like, that's when I would make it more personable. Any emails, though, I had to be so fucking thorough because I had to be so thorough also because I was being watched constantly. So that also didn't help either. So like I was like overly like
on edge.
Per standard. This really should be doing this. Can you check for I don't remember what my emails were now. It's probably a good thing. But I was obnoxious about it for sure. It's I think instead of calling it professional talk, I think we should just call it email talk now.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe
because
it.
If you talk to somebody in real life and they're talking in email talk, walk out. Just walk out of that room right now. You can't trust them.
You can't trust them because like that's like there's no way they talk like that in real life.
No.
They're just like they're talking like that just because it's their only other voice.
Absolutely. That would drive me nuts. Like I literally had a professional conversation with somebody the other day about, I won't go into specifics, but it was a very long conversation. And, you know, like I explained, you know, a couple of ideas and whatnot that I had. And then after a little bit, we would throw in some jokes like here and there. But like it never went from email talk to just like normal talk. It was like a mixture of both the whole entire time. And thank God. Because like if I had somebody talk to me in email talk the whole entire time, I'd want to fucking just bash my brains in right there and then. Like I couldn't, like I loved that conversation that I had with this person because it went from I was talking about business and then me, like both of us fucking around about sports or like sports that we used to play. Like it went from me saying something professional to me being like, dude, I got fucking jacked in wrestling tournaments, dude. It was wild. And or like, yeah, I'd get the absolute shit kicked out of me. Like it was that type of stuff. But like if I had somebody that whole conversation, that hour and a half conversation was whole email talks, find me some rafters and rope because those are the worst conversations to have with somebody at workplace is email conversations.
I'm like sitting here and I'm like jittering because I'm starting to think like, oh man, what's my email talk what's my alternative talk to like even email, like because I feel like there's some sort of face that I put on for like for new people or whatever, but like I'm thinking about how, and I actually acknowledged this when I've had meetings with my manager. I've said like I'm too businessy whenever we like have our meetings together. Like we need to just like slide into it and be like, hey, how was the weekend? What are you doing? Like, whatever it is. I just get like, so I'm working on this week, and I really want to show you this, whatever it is, and it's like, it's making my skin crawl thinking about it, and it like, I want to throw up thinking about like me talking like that, because it's just like, it's sickening.
Yeah. It's sickening.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you gotta do it, but like, I don't know. I've made it a point to not do it. I recently had a conversation where we had people from like multiple states away, like come to our branch, and I had to speak in front of them.
Okay.
I did not sugarcoat anything. Like I literally, like, whatever the answer was, I told him what it was, and then during it, I cracked jokes about it because I'm like, I cannot be full businessy all the time. I will be professional and I will get you the answers you need, but I'm gonna throw something in there to make it more personable. And then like, I don't know. Because that right there, that would drive me nuts. Like my foot is flipping back and forth just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like,
I wasn't sure what that was. I thought it was the cat.
No. It's my foot twitching back and forth because I'm thinking about it and it's driving me nuts. Like, no, but that's something that I had to train myself to do.
Yeah.
Because like my first few jobs, like they were just like retail jobs, and I tried to be like that in a retail job, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
I don't want to think. I really am thinking about like how I was when we worked at men's, and like the, hey, how you doing? What brings you in? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, but see, like, there's a difference. Like, there is a charm, but I would say, like, if you're really in like the selling sense, and you're like doing the, if you do this, you save like that. Like, that's a manager thing where like they always have to be on because that is what they're doing. Like, if you're like a lower position, I'm sorry everywhere that I worked for, but I was not pushing my hardest to people. I would go up to people and I would be like, dude, it's $60 for one shirt. You really gonna do that? Like, there would be many of the times I'd be like, we usually have sales where you can get these for much cheaper. Like, you could wait. Like, if you need some, but then I would follow it up with like, if you need something right now, we can get you one. I'm like, let me get you one, and like you can use it for a lot of shit. So I tried to do like a mixture of both. But like, I'm sure there were plenty of times where I'm like, hi, how's it going? I got you guys into the...
I know for a fact, at least at like the second store that I worked at for men's, I know for a fact that I would like lay out like the whole entire stack and whatever of like the multiple like outfits that you can wear, and they'll come out and be like, listen, I don't even know if I can buy the one suit itself. Like, it's like $400. Like, I don't know if it's like if it's worth it. Like, I'm gonna wear it like twice. Yeah. And I legit just say, yeah, I get it. I understand.
That's literally what you could like. That's the only thing you could say in that moment. Like, you're like, yeah, you could push. I'm sure you could push it, and you could get them to buy shit. Shut up. That's stupid. Like, I hate that. Like, my thought was, I could always either A, try to get them to come back, or B, I could show them what they were at least getting there for. Like, I could be like, these are the options you can do. I'm like, not saying you gotta buy it from us, but this is the options you can do. Like, that's what you came in here for, was for help. Like, so here's your help. At the same time though, if you want to come back when the stuff's on sale, or you just want to get some nicer quality shit, we got you. But that's it. I mean, other than that, when people would go, yeah, I can't afford this, I'd be like, I get you. I'm like, I can show you some cheaper shit. You want some cheaper shit? No problem, dude.
I can't afford this. Yeah, neither can I.
Feel that, brother?
Like, why do you think I'm working, man?
Yeah. You think I can afford this suit that I'm wearing right now? I put this shit on like...
This is off the rack.
Yeah, this is off the rack.
I come in here wearing jeans and flip-flops.
Yeah. I just pinned this stuff, man. I pinned this suit together to make it look like this. You kidding me? We got the tailor to pin it up in the back so I could wear this shit. What are you talking about, dude? Right after we're done, I'm putting this shit back on the rack. You're trying this on tomorrow, bud. We're the same size.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. No, I'm have you try this on. I would love if that ever happened. I'm sure people have done that before, but like...
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Oh, I think I had one guy when I worked at one of the men's warehouses where like he had to borrow a pair of pants for the day.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember something similar.
Yeah, like it was already like a pre-hemmed pair of pants.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck. That was so stupid, but I mean, it made sense.
Yeah, there was a couple times where I got sent to like a wedding where like someone was just like, just send these pre-hemmed pants.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other one's ripped or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, sure.
Oh,
Going to a wedding.
Oh, fuck. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love the way retail is.
I honestly, there's a part of me that misses retail a little bit. I actually, and we can end on this because I was just about to. I've thought about like the job I want to have when I like retire. I want to be a manager at a movie theater.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to explain this a little bit.
Okay. All right.
What is your reasoning for wanting to be a manager in a movie theater?
I don't know if it's just like a recency thing of like just like I've been having so much fun going to movie theaters, but I can just imagine, and I've said this before, I'm sure, I would be a terrible boss, like anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like the one reason why I think I want to be promoted, but I at the same time I can understand why I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Because and like it's weird because I talk about how professional I am, but you get me as a manager, I feel like I'm gonna make your life hell, but not in a bad way. I'll just say things like I'll be like, hey, you know how the last person did at this job?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, I don't know. I mean, like I would assume like pretty well. You like, were you managing them? And like, yeah, they're gone now.
Yeah, they're gone now. Don't ask me why, but they're gone now.
The movie theater though, I feel like everyone has to have a lot of fun at a movie theater, like working, like not even a matter of like you get to see the movies or whatever, because I don't think a lot of people do. I think like just the people that are like up in the booth, like turning the clips and whatever. I just think
Turning the clips.
yeah, I feel like people work in the snack bar, they're just having their own kind of thing. I just think you'd have a ton of fun.
I mean, I can't argue that because
Yeah.
I haven't thought about working in a movie theater.
I've thought about it way too much.
Yeah. I think I applied one time to work in a movie theater and it just didn't pan out.
I think it's gonna be really funny whenever I get to that point and I apply and they're gonna be like, "Sir, you were in data analytics. Why do you want to work? Like, we can't pay you the amount that like you're getting paid like a little above minimum wage."
You would be surprised though. I'm sure they would be like, you know what, whatever, sure, go for it. Because like I had a similar thing with my job and they were just like, "You sure?
Are you sure?"
And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it."
Trust me.
Yeah, trust me. I'm for it.
There was
man.
actually someone who worked with me who just told me that he just left, but he told me, yeah, I'm leaving to like be like work with like drug sniffing dogs at like the stadium. Like, well, that's totally different from social media, but
yeah, but
all
hey,
right.
man, you do you.
It was just really funny. He was like, "Yeah, I really liked what I was doing. I'm gonna work with drug sniffing dogs now."
I mean, hey, man, maybe, who knows? Maybe one day we'll say we leave our jobs to do something that we like.
Yeah.
AKA this. People looking at you. What the fuck?
Yeah, help us to do something that we like, please.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be rad.
That would be rad.
That'd be rad. Tell you what, Andy. We'd actually have stuff to talk about.
In the next episode.
Well, that, but I'm just saying in general, we would probably have stuff to talk about if this was our full time.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I mean, we wouldn't be doing anything else throughout the day. We'd have to find stuff.
Well, we go wild if this was our full-time job.
Oh, this
would be on a different level.
Yeah.
One day.
One day.